Welcome to the show. Hi, I'm Randy Jeffers, and we are live from the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Well, we have a really special show today. We have with us a very important, famous composer, arranger, producer, does it all, I think, at Lazaro Muniz, and his daughter, Leland, who is Leland Thiel from...
Mexico City.
Whereabouts in Mexico are you from?
Mexico City.
Right from Mexico
Yes.
City, yeah. Well, your dad is just amazing, and I know you're going to do a little interpreting for him. But you speak English fairly well, a little bit, yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
So I know you've done just some phenomenal things, and this is going to be really an interesting show. But if you would, Leland, just tell us a little bit, brag on your dad a little bit, would you?
Well, I admire my father's career as a musician. He has an entire career in Mexico and has worked with a lot of important Latin acts, big acts and big names like Juan Gabriel, former Menudos. To all the Puerto Ricans, hello. Hello there. So, and many other Mexican important people like Antonio Aguilar, Aida Cuevas, Lucha Villa, among many, many more, has launched a lot of artists, big acts, as an A&R person, which he worked for Capitol Records around 7 years for Latin America. And then he has produced over 3,000 records.
My goodness.
Albums, and has recorded here in the United States as in Mexico as well.
But the bulk of it has all been in Mexico, working with in the music industry. But I understand that your dad has also done some movie music.
Yeah, he's done movie music for Antonio Aguilar's movies. Several of them were a big hit, and they still run in the Hispanic media, TV in the United States and in all Latin America and Europe. And of course, he has also an album that he produced in Mexico, and we're going to talk a little bit about that in a moment.
Yes.
But I just wanted to let you know, like an overlook as well, that he directed many festivals in Mexico, and he was a director for international festivals like Otis, Juguemos a Cantar, which was a kids show and contest of
Puerto
singers, festival in Puerto Rico, Festival de la Canción, Miami, and he directed a show for Mes de la Hispanidad, Grand Prix Yugoslavia, Yugoslav, and so many other stuff that were very relevant for his international experience. He also played with many important people like Del Rey del Mambo, Pérez Prado. Who doesn't know Mambo?
Yeah, right.
He toured with his brother playing trumpet in his group, touring in all Japan, and this is an amazing career. I could go on and on and on of what he's done, and his accomplishments have been amazing.
Well, you're obviously proud to be his daughter, right?
Yes, I am.
Well, Lazaro, it is such an honor to have you here on the show, and just to know you is just a real honor. And
thank you.
Yeah, and I know I want to ask you some questions, but you came over to my house for dinner a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
And
very good dinner.
It was pretty good. We had a good time, right? And
delicious.
Yes, but right after dinner, we got out my children's keyboard, and you started composing a song.
Yeah.
It was just amazing. You had a tune in your head, and you were composing. How do you do that? How do you come up with so because you've how many tunes do you think that you've come up with in your life?
You know, God the first, and then I studied very much music in Mexico City, and I studied from lessons to the United States. Many composers. I admire too much to Quincy Jones and every composer from United States.
So
Wow.
he has been inspired by a lot of musicians in the United States. He had an opportunity, Randy, let me mention that, to direct a show for Nancy Wilson
Uh-huh.
when she went to perform to Mexico City at the Crown Plaza at Mexico City. So firsthand, he was involved with her, and it was just amazing.
Julie London,
and
many
many
artists.
important artists from
Yeah.
the United States, and of course his hero is Quincy Jones.
Mhm.
And you know, I don't want to sound that I'm too proud of my dad, but I heard a compliment for him one time that he recorded in New York City by an African American gentleman, which was the engineer who helped in the recording that he was working at the time. This was like around 3 years ago or so, and he called my father the Latino Quincy Jones.
Mexican
Wow.
Quincy Jones.
Mexican Quincy Jones.
Wow.
And it was such a compliment because he was so proud of his work, and he said he was learning from him and all his experience. And it was just, for me, it's just a blessing to have a father like him, because as an artist and as a father, I've learned a lot.
I come to Las Vegas to director to the one star Mexican star Laura Leon. We stay in Sands, in the Sands.
In the Sands.
I am
uh-huh.
the director.
He directed her show when she
The
came
show
to
then,
perform.
Oh.
Laura Leon the Tesorito, she's
Uh-huh.
a very popular Latino star, Mexican, and she had a show with Eric Estrada that was a hit, a telenovela
Uh-huh.
that was very popular in Mexico.
Now, what
And
year was this?
she was with him probably like 15 to 20 years ago. He came with
For
her
2 times.
for 2
in
seasons
the Sands.
at the Sands.
And the musicians, all American musicians. Ooh,
He
they're
worked all very
good,
professional
very nice.
musicians, and my father has this deep admiration for the quality level of the artists in the United States.
Of course.
It's
yeah.
very professional, very admirable, indeed.
So, which artist, thinking back throughout your career, who did you have the most fun with?
In the world,
Yeah, of anything that you've done, which
think-
artist was the most fun?
I think it's Juan Gabriel.
Juan Gabriel.
Juan Gabriel is a big star. in
Maybe the
Mexico.
most famous too.
Yeah. Tony Aguilar, too.
Mhm.
Lucha Villa is a very good singer, a Mexican singer, and Marco Antonio Muniz. Many artists, and
Because he has the same name as you, so.
Yeah.
It's kind of a cousin.
So you
yeah.
started off your career in what year?
and
What year? ¿Cuándo empezaste tu carrera?
little
When he was
boy.
very little, he can't even remember, I
Yeah.
guess.
And so, but your professional career, when you started getting paid, what year was that about?
Maybe 56, 57. I start to play with Lupe Lopez, Pablo Beltran Ruiz, many famous orchestras in Mexico. Very good, very good
So
orchestras.
you started off as a musician,
Yeah,
and you were playing what instrument?
trumpet.
The trumpet.
I play trumpet and some piano, and I like very much. My father was a violinist.
Oh,
My brother played trumpet, and I played trumpet.
wow.
Yeah.
And so, do you remember when you first started moving into being a composer?
I think es ¿cuántos años tengo de compositor? ¿Cómo empecé?
Probably he started with hits like in the 70s,
Oh,
with hits like with artists like Jose,
José.
recorded songs that were very big hits in an album called Volcan.
Yeah.
So for all our friends, Latino friends, do you remember that album, Volcan? One of the hits,
Libérame.
Libérame, that was written by my
And,
father, and
so he actually wrote that song.
yeah, he wrote the music, and he co-wrote it with another guy that did the lyrics,
Mhm.
Armando Martinez. and Lazaro Muniz.
Sí.
And
Wow.
that's how he started, and having big name, a big name, and becoming well regarded.
Uh-huh.
He worked also for Raúl Velasco for a show called Siempre en Domingo, which was a very important show for many decades in Mexico. It was a Sunday show
Many programs,
many
to the
shows
Raúl Velasco.
that belonged to
Producer.
Raúl Velasco, that he produced, that he was the artistic director. And he had a number of shows there,
Wow.
and worked with many celebrities in Televisa. So they would open the orchestra with my father, and the shows were live, very
I was
amusing.
director in the Siempre en Domingo with the, the big orchestra
Uh-huh.
and the many programs with Raúl Velasco. The very good, very high
Produced by him.
name
Yeah,
in
he
Yeah.
was
Mexico.
a very important
Uh-huh.
name,
Yeah.
and not only in Mexico, Latin America, and also Spain. He launched people like are you familiar with Julio Iglesias, for instance?
Of course.
Plácido Domingo.
Plácido Domingo. These people were
I recorded with Plácido.
nested in Mexico in that show through Raúl Velasco. Very important
My
man
goodness.
in Mexico. And he helped many people to become big stars like Shakira,
Uh-huh.
like the Menudo group, Ricky Martin. Do you remember?
Of course.
Remember Raúl Velasco and his shows? It was just big time person, and he was like the father of many racing stars that became international, and it was a big platform. Mexico has always been a huge platform for internationalization
Yes.
for many arts.
He helped to Ricky Martin and very famous artists.
Many
Raúl
famous-
Velasco era
He
very good.
was a great man.
like
also.
Pérez Prado, or like my brother was playing with Woody Herman.
Woody Herman.
See, with Woody Herman came with Woody Herman. My brother with Woody Herman 3 times. No, I don't know how many years, but Woody is a very good friend for us.
Is he still alive?
Yeah,
He is.
yeah.
Wow.
No, it's very much many. My brother played with Tito Rodríguez, Tito Puente. ¿Cómo se llama este otro?
Eddie Palmieri,
Eddie Palmieri is a very good friend
Jazz.
to my brother.
Wow.
Latin
and,
jazz, big
Latin
stars.
jazz,
Mhm.
very good.
My
And,
goodness.
So
Yes,
he plays
yes.
trumpet very well, and he's part of that record. My father invited him to play the trumpet.
Sí.
Like if you
Well,
get to listen, that
well,
is
speaking of jazz,
Mhm.
this
Yeah.
is
Speaking
an
of jazz.
amazing collection of songs, and we're going to give some away. So, how many do we have to give away? 5?
4.
We have 4?
Yeah.
We're going to give away 4. So the first 4 people that can send an email to, let's see, your email is Lazaro.
Lazaro Muniz.
Muniz.
Okay, it's LazaroMunizh
Yeah.
at gmail.com, right?
Yes.
Did I get it right?
Yeah.
This record,
Uh-huh.
sorry, this is a very good painter.
Thing.
This is one, ¿cómo se dice homenaje?
This was a homage to a painter that just recently passed away.
It's
That
a very
has a
good
museum in Mexico
He
City.
died in
He-
three months ago.
He just passed away 3 months ago or so, and he has this big art career that he has his own museum.
and all
If
these,
you go to Mexico
all
City,
these songs is
the songs are dedicated to all his
To the-
different artwork.
So it's a tribute
like
to him.
yeah,
Mhm.
tribute.
yeah.
It
Right.
has the names of the sculptors and paints and so forth. My father got inspired in his art
Uh-huh.
to
This is a
compose all
big
this.
reporter in Mexico. He's died too también.
He's another reporter that is in the back of the picture that also died, but very prominent reporter as well. And but this is one of our assets in Mexico for culture, internationally recognized in Europe, awarded painter Jose Luis Cuevas. If you're familiar with him, to all his fans, my father did this tribute to him, and we hope that you enjoy. this record is called Lazaro Muniz dedication to Jose Luis Cuevas. The name of the album is Cuevas Más Cuevas.
Yes, only
Cuevas
only
más
two
Cuevas.
two songs. I don't.
You didn't write?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
it has those two songs.
They're
to
like
the
two guest songs
Armando Manzanero.
from Armando
Oh.
Manzanero.
Do you know the Somos Novios?
Oh, wow.
It's two songs of the Armando. Yeah, I'm here.
Armando Manzanero is also.
Well, we had a
into-
chance to listen to this, and this
Yes.
is amazing music. And so remember now, the first 4 people, I would do it right now if I were you, send an email to Lazaro Muniz H. So Lazaro Munizh. Don't forget the H at gmail.com, and just say that you would like to get the album we talked about on the Randy Jeffers show, and if you're one of the first 4, you will have one sent out to you.
Okay.
So that'd be
And I
fabulous.
give it to you after.
Oh, okay.
And
Well, they're going to send the email to you, but you let us know, and we'll send it out for you. Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, that's fabulous. So, so you have produced now 3,000 albums.
Sí.
That's just that's hard to believe that's possible, but that's a lot of albums.
Too much work.
Yeah, that's a lot of years worth of work.
Yeah.
And how many songs have you written, do you think?
For that
All
albums?
together. Just songs that you've written yourself.
It's too much. Three times for 10.
So like how many, like
Many thousands, huh?
Many
thousands.
thousands? You
yes.
believe, Father? Thousands of songs.
Yes.
And which one of your songs is the most famous? Don't talk about the one that is out right now, but other than that one, which one's the most famous
The more famous, the
that you wrote?
and yeah.
Caminante is one
No,
that was
no,
awarded. What-
Libérame.
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 All those songs performed by Jose Jose are like the most played that he thinks.
Those
that
are
he has
romantic
out.
Yeah,
songs.
yeah.
Romantic
Yeah.
ballads.
Uh-huh.
And
Traigo mi.
for the fans,
I got.
you can see he
my-
has his YouTube. He was gonna take it out, but you can check it out in YouTube if you happen to know and like that beautiful voice of Jose Jose. And look for Volcan, which is the album, and look for the song Libérame, which is Liberame.
AME.
Yeah.
Well, that's just fabulous. So, what was it like having a daughter like Lilan?
Lilan is she and sister and another me
And
and
a
my
son.
sister and the other
And a
sister yeah, is they recording one hit very good very hard.
It was a hit.
Ahora estoy sola. ¿Cómo se
Yeah.
en inglés?
Ahora Estoy Sola was a cover for I Think We're Alone Now. That was played first time by the Hitters in the 1960s. If you
Wow.
like that kind of rock, ballad rock. And then Tiffany came up with a version that was more modern. And around that time we did the version in Spanish. So the music was really well accepted, and that allowed us to travel to South America in a tour all across Mexico, and we came to many of cities in the United States to tour with that album. And it was kind of a rock ballad. The name of the duet back then was Cereza y Miel, which means cherry and honey in English.
Wow.
And again, the song allowed us to travel and tour and perform on a stage, which was amazing. And we had a lot to see. And music has been part of our lives. Of course, we detoured a little bit about around the music, but we've always been there because of my father has taken us to do background vocals.
Uh-huh.
For some of the other artists and their records, and we've always been present with music. I continue to play my guitar and study music, And I have a maestro that is always guiding
It's always
me.
there to help you.
Yes, always here helping me.
Well, your sister Carrie and her husband Mario are very good friends of mine, and I saw a video of you and Carrie when you were young in high school, I think.
Yes.
On a TV show.
Yes.
That was just phenomenal.
Thank you very
You
much.
guys, I'm surprised you guys didn't stay in that line and stay on TV, because you guys were just incredible.
Thank you very much, Randy.
Yeah.
Well, we made a family choice back then, and we decided to go for a bachelor's degree, which we finished. But music has always been kind of on the side, and combined with our craft, what we do today for a living. I have an accounting degree, but combining the music gives a balance to my life, which is great, because numbers is one thing and music is another thing. But if you combine both disciplines, it can be very, very nice.
It makes your life complete. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Well, very
yes.
exciting. And what were you going to say about her?
Huh?
You were going to say something about her?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
It's I find real very good. I
Really?
find with you, and I want to compose
to compose
many
more,
songs.
so many more songs.
I talk with one friend of mine. Is Rubén Fuentes. Is the director to the Mariachi Vargas de Mexico.
Wow.
And I sing for him one song. The name is Mi País es México, and he tell me, send to me, I record them for you with the Mariachi Vargas. And,
Wow.
it's a I think it's a very good song.
That mariachi travels around the world. It's very emblematic for Mexico, and it really represents Mexico. And it's like the best quality mariachi in all over the country.
Yeah.
So very admirable.
Oh.
Mhm.
And right now, I was composer the one song for them. Maybe Mr. Fuentes say yes. The name is como es Mariachi de México, Mariachi de México, Mariachi de México, eres un rayo de luz. Mariachi de México, Mariachi de México, Mariachi de México.
Wow.
Oh, eres bendito de Dios.
That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
He just composed that. Like in the last 2 days, I was like amazed at how fast he
How fast?
composes. Yeah, it really the inspiration hits him like right away. Creative people are always like thinking, talking to themselves music. His head is always on music.
So God was smiling whenever they made your dad, huh?
I
So now
think
you are a Platinum Award winner, and tell us what that means.
That's
¿Qué significa para ti tener disco platino ganado?
Bueno, es with Maribel Guardia, recording from the. I recording them. The one song with Despacito, 10 years ago, and
Okay, now let's make sure everybody understands that. So you recorded it, you wrote a song
yeah,
and recorded a song called Despacito.
see,
Okay, now for those that don't know, but there is a Despacito that is out now that is the #1 viewed song on YouTube, and it has like 1.5 billion hits or something like this, some crazy number. But no other song has ever had that many views, and this is right. This is on YouTube. It's also been recorded by some very famous.
Yeah, Luis Fonsi and Justin Bieber. Daddy Yankee. Who doesn't know?
Did
him?
Justin Timberlake?
Justin
No.
recently? No.
No.
Justin
Justin
Bieber.
I just think Bieber and Luis Fonsi.
Okay.
Is the one that wrote it, I believe.
Now that song, so there'll be more to come on this story, right? Because you did this, you wrote this 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And so they have a version of it that has just come out. And so there may be some more to this story, right, that we have to find out about. So should we say any more? Or maybe we
Yeah,
should?
why not? And this song was awarded because it sold a lot. Of course, you get a platinum record only if you sell a lot of records. And performed by Maribel Guardia. So if you look at Maribel Guardia, put Despacito, the song, and try to find out how alike that song is to Despacito, the one that you know currently from Luis Fonsi. But we happen to believe that there were a little bit of adjustments there to the song. Some things were a little bit disguised, and then there you go. But the musical line and the
Dile que,
main
no, de que lo que yo
part
pienso, what I
could be
think
the
is
same.
de ¿cómo se llama? La parte esencial
the essential part of the song of this song with Maribel
The
Guardia.
chorus? Is that the chorus?
Despacito, the chorus.
es la parte esencial de
Is the essential part of the song.
The
Parte
song.
esencial.
So we're thinking maybe that was just borrowed for this new song.
Exactly.
And
That's what some people think.
and
Among
sometimes-
them, I think that my husband Peter Thiel, who's listening to us now and watching us, thinks the same too. And so many other people too.
Well, it's not always nice to borrow other people's work, right, when they create something. So sometimes there are legal things that happen along the way. But we'll see what happens and what plays out. But at least it's nice to know that you did that more than 10 years ago, and it was a very famous song then. And so-
it had a lot of radio play, and it was very well supported and performed by Maribel Guardia, who made it a success,
Absolutely.
right?
yes,
So you must be just so proud of your two daughters, huh?
yeah.
What was it like?
Not all the time.
What was it like to watch them perform? And did you have them do background on some of your famous songs?
The
Vocal backgrounds, yeah.
You did?
Many of the artists. I can't even tell you how many we've done, but we had experiences with many important people from Mexico. We had an event with Tesorito, Laura Leon, and a friend of my husband also backed us up to a record release party in Mexico City like 2-3 years ago, which is Stephen Baldwin, one of the Baldwin brothers. Are you familiar with him?
Of course.
Well, he supported us, and he wanted to go to Mexico because back then he was also doing some charity work for Mexico, and he was all about it. So he went, and we had a blast with La Tesorito and a production that my dad had done back then, and we had a heck of a time there.
Wow, very exciting.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You've had just an amazing life, haven't you? Just amazing.
Yes. Thanks to God.
Thanks to God.
Yeah.
Well, you also have a beautiful wife that can't be with us right now, but she is just an amazing person.
Yes. She is a singer. He studied singer and
Was she an opera singer? Opera.
opera.
Yeah.
Yeah. that's-
In a Conservatorio de Mexico. She is a
A
teacher
vocal coach.
to Lucerito.
Yes.
Lucerito is a big star in Mexico too.
Yeah, Lucero.
Lucia Méndez.
Lucia Méndez. Litzy.
Charlie Massot. Litzy. Many.
Many Latin stars.
Sí.
And Charlie Massot was, if he's seeing us, Puerto Rico, I love you. You have great people. Charlie is one of them. And Charlie used to fly down to Mexico City to see my mom to take his singing classes. And he would say, literally, I just come to see your mom because I believe she's a great vocal coach. And it was unbelievably hearing that from someone with such a success, a former Menudo who had a lot of success also as a single soloist. So it's amazing all what people have to say about my mother, seeing the albums dedicated to her work. And really my parents have nested and helped to develop a lot of the talented people that has come referred by Televisa, by other musician peers of my father, other producers.
And we want
etc.
to working with
They
the
would like to
people
develop
from
talent.
Texas, from Las
From
Vegas.
Las Vegas,
Yes.
from Las
Yeah,
Vegas.
we want to work with something.
Like if you guys want to come and meet my dad and he can help you with your album or develop your musical skills, abilities, you can always reach out to him. Yeah.
And any kind.
If you're American, if you don't understand Spanish, music is universal. It's like
Yes.
numbers, right?
Yes.
You really don't need to know a lot of the language, except for music. Music doesn't need translation. So if you feel like you need some help in your musical development, don't hesitate to reach out to my dad. He's really good.
So
Don't
they
you
can,
love
they can
it.
reach out by the email. Once
By
again,
email, yes.
is Lazaro, Lazaro, Muniz, Munizh, at gmail.com. And
Exactly.
just reach out and ask for some help, and leave your phone number, and they'll call you right back. And
Yeah.
because you're here now.
Yeah.
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 And you want to be in the desert and
We love the
hang
desert.
out and hang out with all of us.
Yeah.
Well, what a
Yeah.
perfect town for your
Yeah.
talents.
Randy,
Absolutely.
that music, this album
Uh-huh.
is for symphony.
Oh.
I got it, the old parts to the symphony, and I want to know something, some people to the university or the
He would like
symphony.
to present this to probably the Las Vegas Orchestra,
Uh-huh.
Nevada, like the University of Las Vegas Orchestra, and present it. Maybe this can be played because it's composed of the part of the orchestra, for a philharmonic, and the jazz quintet. It's a jazz quintet, right?
Sextet.
Or sextet. But still, the combination is amazing because this has been presented in Mexico City and has been played by Philharmonic of Politecnico, which is
Yeah.
a university in
And
Mexico,
Michoacán.
and also was played
Morelia.
in Morelia, Michoacán, and it sounds
Ano-
fantastic.
another album.
Uh-huh.
It was
It's,
another album, another
De
Vuelo
¿cómo se
al
llama?
Infinito.
Vuelo al Infinito. This is the other. This is Cuevas más Cuevas.
Cuevas las Cuevas.
Cuevas más
But this would make a great event.
And I have one song I dedicate to Cari. The name is Letter K.
Letter K.
Letter K for symphonic.
Really?
Yes,
Wow.
too. There's only one part. This is a suite. We got nine songs mine and two the Manzanero.
From Manzanero. But it's a suite.
Oh, that's
So-
fabulous.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if we can help you. If there's anybody I can introduce you to help you with that endeavor, and if anybody out there that's watching, if you know some people at the symphony here, or UNLV, or anybody in that arena, just send an email and let them know. It's Lazaro Muniz, Munizh @gmail.com, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
Okay.
so I want to make sure that that everybody can get that information out,
Enjoy it and a
because
little
you're here to stay now. So we
Yeah,
want to keep you here in the U.S.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
I'm assuming you may be traveling a little bit. Depending on what happens, you may have to
Yeah,
move
he
around.
may have to just go back to Mexico City around January, just a little bit to take care of some stuff. He owns a home in Mexico City, so he has to just to go check and come back, and a couple
Yeah.
things there, and greeting some family members and friends, and come back, come back to us to the United States.
Oh, that's really fabulous. Well, what else do you want to tell us?
As,
¿Qué otra cosa quieres comunicar?
I want to tell to. I feel fine in Las Vegas. I feel very
So
fine
happy
in
here.
Las Vegas,
Uh-huh.
and I want to work here. Any kind of music, and I want to do something for you, something for many people, and
Well, I know you've already started on one of those projects, but let me ask you a question. Could somebody like me sing? Could I learn to sing well?
yeah.
Could anybody learn to sing well if they really want? If
Yes,
that's what they want to do?
with the help of my wife and I, working and
Yeah, if you have the desire to do so, just reach out. I mean, art is something that really enriches your spirit.
Yeah.
It's very noble. It's like talking to God. And really, whoever has experienced music, and if you haven't, or maybe you just sing in the shower or just in the car when you're listening
for your family,
music, or for your family, or your enjoyment,
for the one church, I don't.
or for the church.
Yes.
And you know,
I
it's always
I
good.
do for anybody.
Yeah, there was a story, Randy, that in one of those music festivals they prepared a group which were dancers. They were great dancers, right? But this was kind of a juvenile festival run by Raúl Velasco, by the way. And back then I remember seeing all these guys coming in to get their classes. They were so well prepared. These people were not singers, they were dancers, right? But they were part of the art nonetheless. Guess what? They won the contest. It was an amazing work that my mom did with them.
And your mom coached them,
Yes.
and they did not have any.
They didn't have a background in
Wow.
singing again, and when they combined the singing and the dancing, you can imagine. It was just amazing.
The hardest part is having the guts to try it, I guess, right? To have that, because that's what stops people. They oh, I can't sing, and so they don't try.
They don't try,
Yeah.
but you know, it fits the soul. One of her former students, it was actually, music is for everybody, from little ones to older ones. This guy was probably around his 60s, about getting retired, an engineer, and decided that wanted to take classes. Guess what? He was going very punctually, attending his classes, so excited, and it sort of gave him a great balance to his lifestyle. So just for the sake of it, and to release some of your stress, daily stress that you have, especially if you're a person dealing with numbers sometimes. Well, I'm talking like that, but you know, you can any field, sales, whatever it is. But let's face it, we all have a stress in a daily office activity. So if you combine art with that, you're really giving a balance to your life, and you're letting worries to go away from you. Whatever the worries are, you connect with music, you connect spiritually with music, and you will be a lot happier.
Wow.
Did you want to sing?
Yeah. Well, you know, I'll tell you what. If you turn on you put an Elvis album on
Yeah.
in my bathroom when I'm in the shower,
Yeah.
I will stay there the whole time and sing it. And especially if it's one of his gospel albums. I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
Elvis.
yeah.
The Elvis gospel albums. They're just because I grew up on them, and nobody is like Elvis. But there's something that Elvis had, and I've heard musician friends of mine that commented on his abilities as a musician, and I've heard often that he wasn't a great musician, and I don't know if that's true or not, but he had there's something about him that just stirs your soul, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when you're listening to him, it penetrates you. He had a magicalness about him. And I assume that you've seen that many times with the famous singers, right?
Yeah.
You can't teach that, or can you? Can you teach a little bit of that, or not?
Yeah.
Yes, like all the feeling, interpretation
Yeah.
is
All.
everything together, because he has experience producing records in
Yeah.
studios, producing people, but he starts producing them really since they're getting prepared to jump into a professional record. So he helps them about rhythm, about phrasing, about interpretation, connecting, like everything together.
Key and everything.
Key,
The
you
rhythm.
get tuned, like feeling all the beat, it's like combining in yourself, like within your own body, like if you were an orchestra, thinking that you have to think, but at the same time you have to feel. And with that combination, you can achieve amazing things, like artists such like Juan Gabriel, for instance. And you guys know what I'm talking about, because he was like a lead star and a big
Dile
act.
que Juan Gabriel era un gran
Juan Gabriel
cantante,
was a great singer, as my father is just
para
saying.
muy disciplinado.
Very disciplined.
Oh.
Very, very disciplined.
I told anything he do.
He would follow directions.
Yeah.
Well. What separates the superstars from the good musicians? You know, this is a town that has musicians everywhere, and you can walk into just a regular. You go down on the strip at some of the casinos and walk into just one of the regular bars, and you'll find incredible people. I mean, they're just amazing. And then you have people that come here that fill up stadiums with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people. I mean, it's just a whole different kind of a thing. But what makes those superstars become superstars?
Pues
¿Qué hace una estrella una estrella?
Es lo mismo.
A diferencia de
Es
alguien, un buen músico o un buen artista, pero alguien que destaque realmente. ¿Cuál es la diferencia para ti?
work, many
Sure.
work, and your own feeling.
Is there a little bit of luck to it, like meeting people like you that can produce for them? Does that help?
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
maybe
like
having all the things lined up
Yeah.
and being in the right
Exactly.
place. Yeah.
You got it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do
Yeah.
you think it's harder now than it was back in the 50s and 60s to be a superstar?
Es más
It's-
difícil ahora.
It's the
ser
same.
una
I think the
superestrella.
same.
Yeah.
Yes. Only the kind of music is different. Only the music is same, but are different rhythms, different feelings. The feeling is the same, but the rhythms and the technology and
Technology, even the lyrics, the
Mhm.
way so many people write these days. And by the way, some of them are lack of romance.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think about it, but what made people of my generation, I'm not that old, I'm not that young, but I'm going to tell you, what I was listening when I was studying my degree, it was just romantic. I would just enjoy and dream with all the lyrics I was hearing. But
Yeah.
today, excuse me, I think that some people may feel offended if they're too romantic
It's
like me.
different,
But
different.
it's different. Some people enjoy it. They want direct things. I
Right.
mean, tell me things as they come.
but the feeling is the same.
It's the things that get you right on the inside.
Yeah.
I know my children.
Yeah.
Lucas, the 8-year-old. He.
How
He-
many?
My son Lucas,
Yeah, yeah,
the,
yeah.
the little guy, 8.
Yeah.
He's 8, and he likes what he likes, right? He likes the modern kinds of music, and I just I've thought about this a lot, because if I was growing up now in this generation, I guess that's what I would like. I guess we like what everybody else likes at the same age,
Oh,
that we
that's
grew
a
up with.
good way to
It's really
describe
interesting,
it,
but I grew up in the 60s, and I like those 60s songs.
Sí, 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 sí.
Of course.
And I like this album. This is amazing. Well,
Thank
listen, we're
you.
about out of time, but it is just such an honor to have you here and to talk to you
Thank you.
and reminisce. And remember now, send an email, Lazaro Muniz h@gmail.com. Be one of the first 4 to get that email in and get one of these. You're absolutely going to enjoy it. But thanks so much for being here and
Thanks to
sharing
you.
with us. And we'll look
Thanks,
forward to
sir.
seeing you again.
Thank you. Thank
Bye-bye,
you,
everybody.
Scott. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Randy. It's a